everybody. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is Thursday. It is 9:30 Cotton Cuts time. We are not going to be on Instagram today, you guys, because we have something really kind of cool to share with you. Today's show is all about the previous Puzzle Mystery Quilt. So we've got some photos and some things that Paula has put together for us. So if you normally watch us on Instagram, I am so very sorry. Please come on, watch us on Facebook and watch us on YouTube. We are still going to have all the awesome same stuff we do every show. Good morning. I see everyone checking in from all over. It appears as though the weather du jour is cloudy and rainy. That's pretty much what it is here in St. Louis too. I'll have you know, we're in peak swim team season and it is 77 degrees today and those kids are in the pool and in the water. And I am so glad that I am not on the swim team, but you know, it is what it is. We did have a really strong storm yesterday. And so we have had some questions about the storm that we had and the tornado that touched down in Chesterfield, which is where we are. We had some water damage here in the shop. Our air conditioning went out overnight. We were able to get it back up this morning. So we did have a little bit of damage. Thankfully, it's just minor inconveniences. So thank you guys so much for reaching out and asking all the questions and keeping us in your thoughts. Okay. We're going to start, as we always do, with questions that are submitted by you guys. Go to cottoncuts.com/live to submit your question. These are here on the table when I sit down. I have no idea what Paula pulls out and puts on these papers, but we will see where we go. Danelle says, no, thank you to swimming in 70-degree weather. Yes, I know. Those poor kids, man. Oof, it's okay. It's better than, so Dominic had soccer camp yesterday and it poured on them for 45 minutes, like torrential downpour. So I don't know. It's kind of the fantastic summer weather that you don't really want to have, but let's get it out of our system now so we can have a fantastic summer. Okay, our first question comes to us from Liz Dubois from Dallas, Texas. Liz asks, on YouTube, I don't have the chat box during the Thursday live events, just the comments below the video. Okay, I get it on other groups I watch. Is there something special I need to do for Cotton Cuts? I think I've heard Kim mention something permission, so you guys see our names. Okay. This is out over my skis. So Paula has written a note here to help me answer Liz. Maybe you guys have some tips or tricks. And so Paula says just to make sure you're logged in and subscribed to the channel. I think in general, making sure you're subscribed to Cotton Cuts, that way you get to see it, you get all the features unlocked. And make sure that, so everyone knows. So the chat that you guys are going now, that people are talking and engaging and I'm answering questions and all that, it only appears 24 hours after the live show on YouTube. And so you guys aren't going to necessarily see this if you're rewatching it within the first 24 hours, but 24 hours from our start time, the actual chat transcript is posted on YouTube. And so you can catch it then. So I don't know if anyone else has this problem. I know, occasionally my family watches it on YouTube on our app on the TV. Yeah, there's no way they can comment and chat on there. So make sure you're on a computer, make sure you're on something that has a keyboard so you can actually chat and engage and see as we go. But the live chat that actually happens during the show where people are asking questions, you have to wait 24 hours to see that. So Liz, hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that gets you back on track. If not, send Paul an email. She's our tech guru on the streaming stuff. And so she can definitely help you out. So thanks so much for the question, Liz. Oh, our very next question is from Liz as well. All right, so Liz has lots of questions today, which is fantastic. So Liz Dubois from Dallas, Texas. In light of a number of the wide backing options being sold out for Under the Sea, can you discuss the ins and outs of selecting backing fabric, specifically picking a coordinating color? I know it comes down to personal pleasure, but I'm still learning and can use all the tips and pointers I can get. You discussed strategies for wide fabric versus piecing with standard fabric last week, and that was very helpful. I'm probably overthinking it. It's okay. Welcome to Overthinkers Anonymous. You're okay, Liz. You're in good company. Also, good or bad idea to use non-batik backing on a batik top? Team Marina here. Okay, so Liz has like 17 questions in this, so let's break them down. So we did change the way we did backing for Under the Sea, and we did have the prepaid wide back options. You guys, those sold out. And unfortunately, when they're sold out, that's all we can get. What I have found is that there's not a lot of wide backing options and a high volume. And in order for us to be able to ship them with Clue 1, we had to fix them. So for some of the colorways, I know Marina, I think Atlantis, there's a couple where you guys are struggling to find backing. And for that, I am super sorry, guys. But in order to keep it in the constructs where we have the wind back, so that way we can keep the pricing fixed. And I definitely don't have to, raise a huge amount of prices or deal with any of the uncertainty that's coming in the next 10 months. We could only have a few quantities of wide backs. And so for that, I am super, super sorry that they sold out quickly, but I hope that you guys love it, that we're able to get in there and get your order early. Those unfortunately will not be restocked. The wide backing, we are not going to be restocking as time goes on. We will restock colorways, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. Now, with respect to choosing the backing fabrics for your quilts. Good morning to everyone checking in. I see Martha, I see Fran, I see Janelle. Okay, so with respect to choosing the backing of your quilts, I think there's a couple different strategies depending on how much you wish to overthink this. So there are those quilting purists, quilting police in some circles, that think that you can only use fabric on the back that you've also used on the front. And so they will only put backing on the back that's the same exact collection that's on the front. And if that is you, that is absolutely fine and fantastic. Our team can give you all the collection information for all the PMQ colorways, so you can find fabrics from that exact same collection to be able to put on the back of your quilts. Now, there are some that are like, hey, is it close enough? Or hey, is it fun? Is it a design element that I love? For those that want the close enough, what I'm actually going to suggest is a tip that I've used previously. And so when you get your first clue in, when you get your prepaid package, is take your fabric to the actual hardware store and get paint chips that are close in color to your fabrics. And so I found that sometimes thinking, oh, it's blue. All blues are the same. And then I go buy blue backing fabric and it's not close enough. Finding those paint chips actually helps to kind of tune in on that hue. So that way you get something on the back that plays nicely with the front without being exactly those fabrics. And so those paint chips are super helpful for me. I take them to the fabric store and I put them up against, and then I can kind of narrow down my selection set instead of saying red. Right? There's a lot of reds out there. There's reds that are more orange. There's reds that are more purple. And so having that paint chip really, really helps. You can also take your fabric to the fabric store. They will let you bring fabric in that you didn't buy there in case you want to get backing. Let's see here. So Joe Mosley is saying the last time she shot for backing for her PMQ, she took her Oops kit to the quilt shop and compared fabric to the kit. That's another fantastic idea, Joe. That's fantastic. Lonnie is actually getting to the next point, right? So Lonnie is saying that she purchased Minky for the back of her kits. And so, there's the people that it has to be from the same collection. Then there's those that, hey, it's close enough, it looks great, or hey, it's a pattern that I like, or hey, it's a fabric that I love, and it's the back of the quilt, so it doesn't matter. Then there's those folks that live and color outside the box. And I've done this before, and it's a fun place to live because it's the, hey, I've got the front of this quilt, but I really want it to be something fun and enjoyable. And so we're going to put Minky, or we're going to put flannel, or we're going to put fleece, or we're going to put some other kind of fabric on the back just because we want it to be a quilt that's going to be snuggled with. And so Minky is something that I have used on back of quilts. And I'm telling you, in our house, when we're lounging on the couch, those Minky backed quilts are the first ones grabbed. And not a single person using it cares that it's the exact same collection as what's on the front of the quilt. They just care that it's warm, fuzzy, and comfortable. And so Erin is saying she loves a Minky backed quilt, but it's a mess to work with. And she's absolutely right. When I actually cut my Minky backing, I took it someplace else and cut it on a carpet that was not in my house and then sent it to the long armor so they could deal with all the shedding. When you cut Minky, it tends to shed. It's just the way of the world. Minky also stretches a lot. So if you are quilting it on your home machine, make sure you're pinning, make sure you're spray basting, make sure you're doing all the things to keep it together. And one of the things that I like about Minky, and I'm actually going to talk about it in our upcoming topic where we do kind of flashbacks for the PMQ, is you can get Minky that's actually embossed with shapes. You can get Minky that actually has prints on it, that has colors on it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional Minky solid backing. It can be something that still kind of, it has its own personality. It has its own influence in the back of the quilt as well. Let's see here. Martha is saying she loves to make the back of her quilt totally different than the front for her home. If it's a quilt for someone else, I might make it a little more like the front. Yes, and so I feel like it's back to the what is the quilt's purpose, what is the quilt's use, and making sure that if it's someone that's super particular, and if you get someone asking for a quilt and they say they want strawberry lemonade and it has to be pink and yellow, please don't put blue on the back of that quilt. Make sure that you're keeping in mind its intended use. And if it's something on the back in my house, like the back and the front, if they match, it doesn't matter as long as it's comfortable. Let's see here. Tishua is saying she uses a mini vacuum when cutting Minky and Cuddle. Yes, Tishua, you're absolutely right. It is a light. You have to have that mini vacuum out, and you have to vacuum it immediately because as soon as you let it go for half a second, it is in every room in your house. Let's see here. Jan is saying Shannon Fabrics just came up with a Minky that stretches less. That is absolutely true. Shannon Fabrics makes the Minky that's kind of the top of the line. That's the highest quality. And so they do have a Minky that stretches less because they've been hearing feedback. And so it's actually what they serge it onto that makes it stretch a little less. Crystal's saying using a serger is the best way to combat minky shedding. That is absolutely true. Using a serger, that way you bind those edges when you cut it and doesn't fray and doesn't go anywhere. Janice is saying she's never used minky. It's intimidating. And so I would say, Janice, I feel that deep in my core. Minky is something that I didn't want to use because I've heard like all the comments, all the horror stories, and I didn't want to have to vacuum or an air purifier or whatever, all the things, which is why I took it outside the home, cut it, and sent it to the long arm. And when it came back, Janice, it is our most favorite. Those are our most favorite quilts. So I would say if there's any way that you can help get past those hurdles you're putting up in place, it is definitely something interesting to try and give a whirl. Okay, back to Liz's question. Let's see here. So I would say, so here's a question I think is fantastic for you guys. And so if you're making a quilt and it has a batik on the front, do you have to have a batik on the back? And so for me, I would say no, but I am also one of those rebels that mixes batik and cotton. I don't feel like it has to be all batiks, but I know, again, there's batik purists. And so I would say if you're doing a batik on the front, does it have to be a batik on the back? One of the quilts, and we'll talk about it in a second, was a batik on the front and minky on the back. And so I feel like I am probably the person who's going to tell you put whatever you want on the back. But I would say if you feel like you need to have that minky, I would say put the minky on it. I'm going to look at my computer here because my computer just shut down, and we're going to need that in a minute because we are giving away stuff today, guys. We have some winners to announce, so go ahead and hang with us for just a half a second here. Let me see. Liz, I think that answered all of your questions. If you have anything else, please put them in the chat, and folks are very happy to help here. So if there's any questions you have about the backing and selecting the backing. Now, we also did send everyone kind of a link to be on the wait list to get backing fabrics that we have left over at the end. So what we always do is we complete the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. We get to about month 7 or 8, and we've cut it all off the bolt that we need to make your guys' clues. But we always have yardage left over. So if you do want to, if you're patient, you want to wait until the end, if you don't want to worry about buying a backing and possibly losing it over 10 months, then you can definitely wait until that email comes out. We will have yardage, and it'll be the same exact fabrics that are used in the front of your quilt if that is your choice. Let's see here. Danelle is doing a quilt as you go for her Dusty Rose and layer cakes, and she's making it scrappy. That quilt as you go for a PMQ is something that I know we saw on one of our ambassadors' channels, and she was doing this quilt as you go as she was piecing, and it was amazing. It was fantastic, and it was fun. So that's Anne. And what is Anne's channel? So what was that? Toby Knits. Thank you. Toby Knits is Anne's channel. And so she did a quilt as you go for a PMQ when she was piecing it together. It was crazy. It was awesome. And I am in on that. Okay. Those are all the questions we had for today. So go to cottoncuts.com/live to submit your questions for next week's show. Like I said, they're going to be here. We can go in many different directions. We went technical, and we also talked about backing, which is always fun topics to talk about. Don't forget to give StreamYard your permission so we can see your name. I feel like everyone is here. And thank you guys so much for doing all of that. Let's see here. Stacy's saying she's never tried minky. She's going to have to try it on one of her quilts. I think you just got to try it. Like, it's one of these, like, just do it once and you'll be hooked, and you'll never see a quilt without minky on it ever again. And don't forget to stay to the end of the show. We're going to be giving a giveaway. We have a $25 gift card to our shop to be awarded to one lucky watcher. Martha is saying it's her husband's birthday. She took today off. Took a few days off to celebrate her husband's birthday yesterday. I was going to say, like, he took his today off to celebrate his birthday yesterday. All right. More information on the quilt as you go. So Heather, that is definitely something Toby Knits. You're going to want to check her channel. She did that for her Carnival Mystery, and it was fun. Erin is saying she's still finding fuzzies from her minky blanket from a year ago. Erin, I feel you. It's still there, even though that minky was never in my house. Okay. So what is happening in the shop this week? So there's one thing that I want to start with. And so I know that we talked about the Quilters show that was on Netflix, which is a very short documentary. I think it's about 42, 45-ish minutes that features men in a maximum security prison here in Missouri. There is a rural part of Missouri. These men are mostly life sentences. They're going to be in prison for a long time. And they have formed a group of prisoners that make and sew quilts to be donated to foster children in the community. And so this documentary, you guys, was fantastic. It was so well done. I wish there was more. I watched it with my whole family. I told all my friends about it. It was fantastic. When we first heard it was coming out, Paul and I got together and we're like, how can we support this organization in their mission and the good things they're doing? And so we at Cotton Cuts got together and we gave a donation to the actual prison. Paula reached out, had contact. And so we gave them a Hope Puzzle Mystery Quilt. We sent them some Boltons. We sent them some fat quarter bundles. We sent them a whole bunch of stuff. And this past week, you guys, we got like the coolest things in the mail back from them, which is, I mean, like it's heartwarming all around. And so the first thing we got was a little certificate, and it says, "Old quilters never die, they just go to pieces." And so it's so stinking cute. We got a certificate for a donation. And then this part just warms my heart. So we actually got a handmade thank you card. And so this is colored with crayons and markers. This is not printed color on a printer, guys. And on the inside, we got all handwritten signatures from all the people that participate in the Restorative Justice Organization. And so you guys, this is like all above and beyond. I mean, we sent this because we wanted to support what they do. We wanted to, you know, continue to enable them to make and donate these quilts. And you guys, this is extra. Like the fact that there's so much appreciation, we expected none of this in return. But this is definitely something that's going to hold a super sweet place here in our shop. And oh, Donna, I'm going to come back to that in a second. So yeah, so this is something that's going to hold a super sweet place in our shop. Like we can't thank them enough and appreciate all that they're doing for their community. Donna is saying she sent an email about making donations and hasn't heard anything back. Donna, I can imagine that they are probably completely inundated with requests since the airing of the show, because there was a whole section of the show about donations and the receiving of the donations and the category of the donations. So I have no doubt that they are completely overwhelmed since the airing of the show. We contacted them when we first heard about the show dropping, so it was several weeks ago. And Paula said she called. So Paula just popped behind. So she actually physically called them. And so if you are super passionate about making a donation to support their cause, keep continuing to try to reach out. Please be patient, knowing that this is a super popular show. I think that people underestimate the power of the quilting sphere and the reach of this show. And so I think they've been inundated. But definitely I would reach out, call, and keep trying to donate to them, because they are doing really, really good work. And they've got this incredible workforce of quilters that just sew every day. And I mean, could you imagine if you got together with 20 of your besties and just sewed every day for 5 days? Like, you guys could make so many quilts. So, all right. So I just wanted to start with that. That was super fantastic. Like I said, completely unexpected, but very heartwarming that we got that in the mail. Okay, what else is happening in the shop? Okay, so Under the Sea. So we've talked about this a little bit. Colorways did sell out. The first one sold out within about the first 10 minutes. Atlantis did. But the good news is that Atlantis will be restocked by the end of the day today. I got confirmation from Free Spirit. Oasis, we have to do some creative fabric acquisition, but Oasis will most likely be coming back in stock. Davy Jones will be sold out by the end of the day today. If you are sitting on the fence about a colorway, you guys need to get in on it, because there's, after Davy Jones, there's about 3 that have about this much space before they're sold out, and I don't know if we can get more fabric for them. Let's see here. Aaron Palms is asking about last week's Minute Mystery results. Those are coming, Aaron. Just bear with me for just a few more minutes. Kelly's asking if there are other prisons that have programs like this. I bet you there are. I just don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if there's a resource where those are all consolidated together. I don't know if there's organizations that gather materials and distribute them out to prisons that are doing these types of projects, but I'm sure that there is something there. Oh, Marina is sold out for good. I can get no more Marina. There are some fabrics that, Marina, there are no more fabrics that we can get for that. It is completely sold out at the manufacturer. So Marina is sold out for good. Let's see here. How do we select Cotton Cuts ambassadors? Janice is asking that question. So Janice, that is a fantastic question. Perhaps what we can do is submit that, and I can do it at the beginning of our next live. All right. So Tim Holtz Teal and Clue 5 for Flyaway are all set to ship tomorrow. So Tim Holtz Teal, I showed you guys that last week. That's being die cut. It's going to be shipped. It is fantastic. It is lovely. It is month 7 on that program, guys. We are over halfway. We are in the home stretch of the Tim Holtz. And let's see here. Don't forget about the stitchets and the pillow kits. They're in the shop. Those are ones, once we make teal, like, we're not making anymore. So if once they're gone, you might be able to come back and get them. But once they're made, they're made. And then Clue 5 for Flyaway. We are halfway through. So of course there's going to be a gift. There's a gift for everyone at once. 1, 5, and 10. If you do month to month, if you do prepaid, everyone gets a gift for month 5. So if you're doing prepaid, you can go ahead and open that package and look at your gift. But I can tell you that the folks getting Clue 5 tomorrow in the month to months are going to get a cool little Cotton Cuts ruler. And don't forget to keep posting your progress on both of those. We are going to be doing a Mystery 5.0 deep dive show in 2 weeks. So we will be off next week because I will be on vacation. So we will do a greatest hits show. Paul is going to pull something out of the archive. But in 2 weeks, we'll be back live. I will be here most likely with my co-host with the mostest, Dominic. And we're going to do a deep dive into Mystery 5.0. Those colorways are already being posted. And so Paul has been putting them out in Cotton Cuts and Cotton Cuts Fabric. And so we're starting to name those colorways. There'll be 5 colorways. Each colorway has 20 fabrics, 1920 fabrics in each colorway. It is a very different mystery than our core Puzzle Mystery Quilt. The quilt is lovely. It is fantastic. Tune in 2 weeks and I will tell you guys so much more about it. All right. Then for platinum, we are going to have platinum. Those will close at the end of this month for boxes shipping in the month of July. Paula wanted to make sure that you guys knew that if when we send out the email to you to select your preferences, if we don't hear back from you and a platinum member, then we're going to go to your default. So when you sign up, you're asked to be like, hey, if we don't hear from you, what are we going to send you? That's what we're going to send you. There are times where we haven't been necessarily getting people's preferences for the classic box, and that is fine. Just make sure you're emailing, responding, checking your email for all of that. Let's see here. Oh, Martha, you are so fantastic. Thank you so much. She sent an appreciation note to all of the Cotton Cuts family and employees for all the work we do. Martha, thank you. Gosh, you guys, this feels like a good day today. This is a good day. We are right next door to a gymnastics place. And so we spend our day listening to the 60 campers yelling and screaming. And so thank you guys so much for all of your appreciation. Who is that person looking over my shoulder? Oh, yeah. So these are our under the sea characters for our mystery. Let's see here. Oh, Earth Day. Yes. Okay. So we had about 25 entries for our Earth Day challenge. You guys did a fantastic job. I am completely blown away with the creativity that you guys have done. Voting will start tomorrow through the 10th. So be looking on those. You can vote every day. You can vote as many times as you want. You can share the link with as many people as you want. Who needs names? Oh, okay, so Paul is taking names for the 2 characters behind me. Put those in the comments. Okay, so voting, we're going to announce a winner on the 11th. We're going to pick 2 people, 2 winners based upon your voting, and they're each going to get a 6-month platinum challenge, platinum award. So we'll send them 6 months of platinum free of charge. You guys, that's a huge prize. 6 months of platinum is a big deal. So go in, vote for your favorites, make sure you're getting all your friends to vote, all that good stuff. All right. We have some winners to announce. And so this is always my favorite part. So we had 2 challenges that have wrapped up recently. So our first was our Flat Nancy challenge for Wild West. And so Wild West is a mystery quilt. It finished in April. And people were given a month to finish their quilts and post it. And so the way that the Flat Nancy works, and I know we've got a lot of new people, so I'm going to kind of go over this, was each month you sew your clue. So you sew your clue 1, you take a photo with our Flat Nancy card, and you go to the website and you submit it. Then we have this awesome map that we updated each month, and we, click on the buttons and you can kind of see where everyone is sewing their Flat Nancy's, and everyone gives a story about what they're doing. And then month 2, you repeat, month 3, you repeat, month 4, you repeat, all the way through to 10. And we had people who posted their month 10 with their Flat Nancy, and it was completed. So everyone was given a month to finish all 10 clues and get them assembled together. And so the way Flat Nancy works is each month we give 10 people a $25 Cotton Cuts gift card. Actually, in this case, it's going to be a store credit. So that's 10 months of people that have won a $25 store credit to the shop. Those emails are going to be going out to those winners today. We had over 1,000 entries for the Wild West Flat Nancy. 10 people per month got a $25 credit. If you're one of those lucky people, you're going to get an email this afternoon. That store credit is already in your account. And we were going to select 1 grand prize winner. And so this is the person that submitted all 10 months, got their Wild West finished and assembled, and was submitted in the 10th month. Of those people, 27 people did all 10 months. They had an entry every 10 months with their Flat Nancy, and they kept up and they kept going. 4 of those people, 4 of the 27 did 2 quilts and submitted 2 for each month. I am just blown away that there that many people were staying on time. And so all 27 people that participated, you're going to receive an email today. All 27 people that did all 10 months are going to get a prize. We're going to mail you something. It's going to be awesome and great. We need you to check your email and fill out that form so we know where to send it to you, because people move, addresses change. We want to make sure your prize makes it to you. So we're going to select a winner now for our Wild West Flat Nancy entries. And so it's on my fantastic screen here. Let me see if I can minimize the glare and all the stuffs. And you guys are going to probably see me here in a minute. But so these are all 27 people, and the winner is going to get a free Under the Sea colorway of their choice. Okay, so we're going to drum roll, please. We're going to click and spin, and you guys are getting all the set lights and all the fun stuff on the set here. But it looks like the winner is going to be, I think that's Shannon Olson. Shannon Olson, congratulations. You are our Flat Nancy winner, and you are going to get a free Under the Sea colorway. I would drum roll. Like, I feel like I missed my partner in crime, Dominic, with his drum roll here. All right. So, Shannon Olson, congratulations. You have won an Under the Sea colorway of your choice for free. Our next big winner thing that we have to work on, Erin has kind of jumped the gun on this because she was so excited about this Minute Mysteries. So last week, in the week leading up to the sign up for Under the Sea, we did Minute Mysteries. These are just fun little riddles. They're kind of fun little challenges, brain teasers. Every day there was a new one. We had over 600 entries, guys. And so I did the scoring this time. You guys were pretty creative with some of your answers. I would say there were some people that were very verbose in their answers. We always give points for creativity, right? And so we had over 600 entries over the 5 days. We had very creative answers. We had 39 perfect scores. 39 of you checked in every day. 39 of you had correct answers the entire time. It was fantastic. So all 39 of you are going to be getting an email today. Again, same thing. There's going to be a form. We're going to send everyone who completed it a prize. Make sure you check your email. Make sure you update your address, all those good things. And so the winner of our Minute Mysteries for participating every day and getting it right every day is going to get a 50% off their Under the Sea colorway. And so same thing. We've got this fancy little wheel of fun. And so we are going to click to spin it. And I'm going to drum roll over here as we pick our fantastic winner. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Here, let me hold that up so you guys can actually see it. And the winner looks like it is going to be Mary Hebda. Congratulations, Mary. All right, Mary has got 50% off her Under the Sea colorway. You guys, this is all fun stuff. We love hosting these challenges, right? This isn't anything about necessarily like, we're not asking you to buy stuff to play. We just want you guys to play, and it's fun, and we get to change things, and we get to play games and have you guys be entertained, and that's always so much fun. So those winners are going to be contacted by our team here, and you guys are going to get to claim all your great things. Congratulations, Mary. A lot of people know Mary, so woohoo. All right, and I have my last little note here. So for those of you sewing Flyaway, Ian, one of our favorite ambassadors, Ian, is going to have a catch-up on Saturday from 11 to 4. Head up his channel and find out all that you can. All right, I think that's everything that's going on in the shop. There's a lot, guys, but today what we are going to do is Paul and I thought it might be a fantastic idea, since we have so many new people participating in the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, to kind of do a recap of all of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt designs. And so Under the Sea is our 18th. I think that technically means the PMQ can vote. Perhaps it's not 18 years old. It's just our 18th design. But it might be good to kind of collate everything together and show you guys all the designs, how it's evolved over time, give you kind of some of our favorites over time, and give you some of the anecdotes. And so what I would like to do is we're going to start at number 1. And we're going to go all the way through 18. I know Trish Reed has done all 18. I have not seen her check in here. Trish, if you were here, you're going to be participating a ton with this, or even after the show if you're rewatching it. But if you have participated in this mystery, please, please, please leave your name of your colorway, and you'll get bonus points if it's completed or not. Share with us if it's completed or not. I am going to transparently share with you for all the colorways I have done if they are completed or not, because that is how we're going to do this today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a description of the PMQ, kind of what some of the titles were. And Paula actually has images of all these quilts, so you can see how the design has changed and how it evolves, and also how the theme plays with the design in many of these cases. Okay, so the very, very, very first one started in 2017. It was a spring PMQ, so it started in February, and it was called All Aglow. This was All Aglow was named All Aglow, and the colorway names Boardwalk Fun, Homestead, Martha's Vineyard, all these names were chosen to be very Americana in theme. And so this is actually my quilt. This is the one that I did. This is a Boardwalk Fun. This one sits on my bed now. And this one, you can see All Aglow. It has kind of those diamonds and those jewels in there. And we picked, Greta completed. That's right. Greta actually gave hers for auction and donated. Greta, do you remember your colorway? I'm sure if I have 5 seconds. I think you did this colorway too. Anyways, this was, it was Americana themed because it was the first time the Puzzle Mystery Quilt was sold in the United States. Sheila had been doing Puzzle Mystery Quilts out in New Zealand for about 5 years, and we were her first partner to bring it to the United States. And so that's why that we picked Boardwalk Fun, Homestead, Martha's Vineyard. There was a whole bunch of like Americana type themes. We only had 100 detectives doing this first quilt. And so this colorway, Boardwalk Fun, I think had like 15 people doing it. At the time, it seemed like, oh my gosh, 15 people are doing this colorway. How are we ever going to get this done? It's kind of funny. Like when I look back at that sheet, I was like, wow, we only had 15 people doing certain colorways. All right. Next up. So we decided we're going to do it twice a year. So this was a fall PMQ of 2017. And the second one was called Through the Garden Gate. And so Sheila had just spent the summer in the United Kingdom. And so she really liked her UK gardens. And so colorway names were floral based, like aster, hydrangea, and foxglove. And so this is a large quilt. This one, if you guys see your quilt, please claim it. I know this was made by one of our I think it was maybe Karen Broussard. I don't know if she watches the live. Crystal, go ahead and put a pin in that one. The challenge is the colorways and getting fabric, right? So as we do these, some of these fabrics are out of stock, so we'd have to completely recolorize and redo them. But I know, Crystal, you're going to the retreat, so you're going to be able to have an opportunity. Foxglove, Erin, that is a blast from the past. I liked Foxglove. Foxglove is very neutral based. Yes, I know. Love Loathing. We were going to work on that. I promise it's coming. All right. Then we fast forward to the spring of 2028. And so that one was Pastures New was the title of that quilt. And so Pastures New was the first time that Sheila had sold directly into the United Kingdom. So she had a design partner in the United Kingdom, Lisa of Modern Quilts, that started to sell her Puzzle Mystery Quilts, just like we were in the United States. And so it was called Pastures New, and all the colorways were titled major cities, since it was global now, major cities. So Athens, Berlin, Dublin. And for me, I can tell you, I chose to do Barcelona in this colorway, and it is still sitting in pieces in my sewing room. It is very nice and neatly labeled, and it says 2028 Pastures New, and those parts and pieces are still sitting in my sewing room because it was about this time that the mystery kept doubling each time we did it, and it kept doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled. And so I was a little busy. I didn't have a chance to sew Barcelona. Barcelona is still very lovely. We had a Barcelona on the show. It was fantastic. Greta is saying she's halfway through. I'm assuming that's halfway through the garden gates. All right. So lots of questions about buying patterns and buying previous mysteries. So we'll take a pause right here, take a little bit of a break. So when we do the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, you guys know this, that I've been doing it for a long time. Like clue 1 comes and it's a 2-sided sheet of paper. Clue 2 comes, and so the clues themselves are not a pattern. And it actually takes Sheila a significant amount of time to go back and make it a standalone pattern, something that you can buy, because now she has to include cutting instructions, fabric requirements, fabric selection information. She has to do a lot of the things at the beginning. It's not just a matter of binding the 10 clues that we send to you and sending them out to you. And so it is a challenge to be able to convert them. We have some old ones that we were able to do in the beginning. We also have some where we've generated cutting instructions and shipped them, but it's been a challenge. That's a Sheila making sure that she has time to do it properly and do it right, because in this cycle where we're always doing 2 a year, like right now Sheila is doing clues for Flyaway through clue 10. She's also doing under the sea clues, and she's also designing the next mystery, right? So there's a lot of work that's there that if I was to be like, hey, Sheila, can we get Wild West? She has to full stop, go back and put herself in the Wild West mindset to be able to create that pattern. And so let's see, you could offer the standalone unconverted clues for hardcore quilters. So Jana, we've done that, and we actually get the most questions when we do that, right? So I feel like Jana, you've done a ton of these. Greta has done a ton of these as well, right? There's many of you that could probably take those patterns and be off and running, but that's actually, we've had a lot of questions when we do that. And so it's been something we've kind of gone back and forth and tried to do multiple iterations of this. And I think the right answer is coming. We just haven't quite gotten there yet. Okay, let's see here. So my Barcelona for Pastures New is still in pieces. Okay, so then we did 2018 this way and that way. And so this was themed after dances and different dance styles and dance techniques. So we had ballet, we had hustle, and we had jitterbug. And so I can't remember the name of that one, man. This is gonna bug me. I should have had like a cheat sheet here. But anyways, so this was Lincoln's first mystery quilt. So Lincoln did jitterbug for his quilt, and I did hustle for my nephew. And so my nephew is now in 2nd grade, so we know how many years that's been. But I did a puzzle mystery quilt for him. This one I really liked. So I know we talk a lot about medallion quilts and how a lot of the mystery quilts start in the middle and radiate out. And so this one, this way and that way, you can see it's more kind of 2 pieces, almost a 4-patch of designs. And then it's asymmetrical as it comes out. And so not everything is a medallion. This way and that way. This was a ton of fun to do. This was definitely something we did a lot of squares here in the shop. This was our first kind of immersion in a 3.5-inch square. And so it was tons. All right. I know. Love the boy who sews. I'm kind of a big fan of him myself too. All right, then we go to 2019, and so we did Stratford. And so Stratford was chosen because all the colorway names were based upon Shakespearean heroines. And so we had to go back through the catalog, and Beatrice, Bianca, Cordelia, we had a Lady Macbeth. And so this one is a ton of fun because it's like a square within a square with a pinwheel. And it was just, this one was really good. This was Dominic's first puzzle mystery quilt. So we had Lincoln do his first puzzle mystery quilt, and then Dominic did his first puzzle mystery quilt, which was a Stratford colorway. And this is, of all the PMQs we've done, this is my absolute favorite. Portia was my absolute favorite colorway. It was such a surprise. It was black, pink, and white. And as we were cutting it, I was like, how is this ever going to be an amazing quilt? And we had one that was made for us for the live show, and you guys have to go back and watch the live show. It's all on the website. If you go to Cotton Cuts and you do past PMQs, Dominic has that page completely updated. But if you go to Stratford, you'll see Portia, and it is like the most amazing colorway. Let's see here. All right, so people are talking about the whole quilts. Greta said she finished her Greta, I am impressed. Portia. I think Portia was a surprise. Greta, I am so glad you're joining us today. Greta's been with us from the beginning as well. All right, 2019 Cosmos. All right, so this is when we did female astronomers. And so this was the first time we really kind of did a lot of education about the colorways. We geeked out on this one. Sheila and I, this was number 6. And so Sheila and I were super geeking out, and we had so much fun researching female astronomers and different ways in which females have advanced star and space science. And so this is an example of what the finished quilt looks like. This is a small. I actually did Muriel, and this was a Father's Day gift for Eric. This is finished. This has Minky on the back of it. This is the quilt people like steal off my couch and take up to their beds whenever it's cold. They love the Muriel. And so this quilt was also different for us too, because this was a lot of strips. And so if you look at this design, there's squares in there, but there's also a lot of strips. And so we were worried that we thought this one would be too simple for everybody, but Greta has completed her Cosmos. And so this is something, there's a lot of strips in this. And we were very worried that it'd be too boring. And when it finished, it was so easy. This was our first one that we assembled by rows as well, which is a different assembly technique than many of the PMQs, but this was kind of our first one we did by rows. And this is awesome. I wish I remembered this colorway. I'm pretty sure someone will remember and put a comment in. All right, 2020. So this is Name of the Rose. So this was spring of 2020. So this was right before the pandemic hit, guys. So this would have been like we got started and then, we had to completely rebuild Cotton Cuts and do our whole pandemic story. But so Name of the Rose. So Alba, Colorific, Bewitched. These were all types of roses. I didn't realize this until we did this. There's like thousands of different types of roses. And so you can see kind of this has this flower petal design. And we really liked this. We picked the theme in 2019 for 2020. But it has this house community theme that kind of goes around the outside of it. And so we really liked these kind of these triangles around it because it built community. And coming up into the pandemic, it was a theme that really kind of carried through. Greta is 3/4 of the way through hers. This one was a beautiful quilt. It was fantastic. And this also had roses on the back of it as well. This was done by an ambassador for us here locally. She made it and she had rose embossed minky that she put on the back of this quilt. This was amazing. All right, then the fall 2020. So this would have been July 2020. People were at home still. People were sheltering in place. People were doing all the pandemic things. And we were thinking about the theme for the next mystery. We wanted to do something people were doing. And so we called it Are You Game? And all the colorways were board game themed. So Candyland, Chest, Mahjong, Jumanji. And so I forget what this one is called. Gosh, you guys, my brain is getting fuzzy. It's almost like we've done this 18 times or something. And so this one was an exceptionally challenging quilt. It was a challenging quilt to design. It was a challenging quilt to cut. It was a challenging quilt to sew. And so this one was challenging because it was the first time that we mixed 2-inch and 3-inch pieces. And so usually when you're designing a quilt, it's either on a 3-inch grid or it's on a 2-inch grid. And so for this one, we mixed the two because, we'd been doing it 8 times and we wanted to do something fun and challenging. And it was challenging, but this design was very, very complex. Labyrinth or Twister. I actually think Skip Bow. Aaron, this one was Skip Bow. Thank you, Paula. This one was Skip Bow. This one sold out really darn fast too, because it was like this green and yellow floral. It was the beginning of that trend and it sold out really fast, but a lot of people did Skip Bow. And so this one, it was challenging to do, but you guys loved it. And we actually in the shop, as part of this, we acquired all the games and we played all the games and we had all sorts of giveaways. Oh, Greta has only 1 or 2 clues of this one done. Yeah, Greta, this one was challenging, but this one was a lot of fun. All right, then my pretty much all-time favorite design, and I know a lot of people like this one as well. This one is super popular, is in 2021, we did Sparkle and Shine. And so this one is, I believe, maybe the most number of detectives have done Sparkle and Shine. And so this quilt, all of the colorways were named after jewels. So we had amber, garnet, jade. I'm trying to remember what this one was. This is azure. No, I don't think that's not azure. I think that's garnet. Turquoise. Lauren has completed it. Let's see here. So this one, Sparkle and Shine, this one was easy to cut. This one was easy to sew. This one was easy to assemble. Everyone loved it. It was so easy to put together. It was so much fun. And the quilts were all amazing and beautiful. And I feel like for this one, we had these 2 borders and that really messed up people who were trying to guess. I have to take some joy in the fact that, people struggled to guess this one because it had, you guys can see it. It has that inner border and it has an outer border. And it really stumped a lot of detectives because they wanted to take those pieces that live in the border and bring them to the inside. This one, Sparkle and Shine, was a joy. All jewel themed. They all kind of blended together like rings. It was fantastic. Then we get to fall of 2021, which is Olympia. And so this was right around the time the Summer Olympics were starting. This was a big deal because the world was finally going to gather together and have the Olympics. They were supposed to be in 2020. They pushed it to 2021. And so what we did is we did a whole, like my team, I had summer interns that were all in on the Summer Olympics theme. And so we picked Olympians that we named all the colorways after. So Kathy, Dorothy, Marty, famous American Olympians, famous European Olympians, famous New Zealand Olympians. We went all in on Olympic themes. And if you guys remember, we actually did a stay-at-home Olympics challenge, and we had you guys recreating Olympics events with things that you guys had around your house. These are some of my favorite photos. Our team here, we had people like surfing on ironing boards. We had people playing hockey. It was so much fun setting up this challenge. And this was our first kind of really like, let's have you guys do something between clue 1 and 2 as a challenge and give you prizes. And we actually cut squares of fabric that are in the 5 Olympics rings colors. And we had you guys show your interpretation of the Olympic rings, and we had a challenge. And I remember someone took these little squares of solid fabrics we sent, and they used their Cricut, and they die cut out little gnomes, and they die cut out little Sunbonnet Sues and appliqued those all over a project. I think that was the winner. It was inspiring. Now, the biggest challenge with Olympia was it was the first time we tried 8 colors versus 6. And so I know Greta has done it. Yes, I believe that is Scott, Misty. I think you are absolutely right. That is Scott. Let's see here. I see some Sophie, 95% complete. Yeah, putting all the clues together. Yes, you guys, like this one, the 8 fabrics versus 6. We wanted to try something new. We were on number 10 at this point, and we're like, hey, maybe if we add more fabrics, it'll add more depth. And what it actually did was added a lot more confusion. So it added a lot of confusion for us as we're trying to keep 8 fabrics apart. It added confusion for you guys too, because 6 fabrics, you can pretty much tell lights versus darks. But by the time you get light blue and slightly lighter blue, it's very, very challenging. And so that was our big lesson, was 8 colors versus 6. Every now and then we get asked, why 6 colors? Why 6 colors? And Olympia is the reason why we stick to 6 colors, because we've all learned it is very difficult to have a lot of color variation when you have 8 different fabrics. All right, then in 2022, we did So Sweet. And so this was all donut themes. So this, I don't even know why we chose donut themes, but we had a whole bunch of donut challenges. Dominic helped me pick all the names, the boy who sews. And so we literally sat down and we looked at the colorways. And so we picked names like churro and apple cider and bear claw. And this is what So Sweet looked like. This again has kind of a center medallion, but it's also not a center medallion. So it has a little bit of pieces of both of those. I see Lauren has done her powdered. Powdered was the Tulip Pink colorway that time, and it is complete for her. We did a mug rug challenge. So we actually did kids of Cotton Cuts. We got all the kids together and we gave them a whole bunch of sugar and toppings and a blank donut. And we said, make your own donuts. And you guys voted on a winner. We donated money to charity. We did this mug rug challenge where we sent you guys fabric from your quilt and had you guys make your little mug rug to put your donuts and your coffee on. This is so sweet. Yes, it is very sweet, pastry queen. Greta says Greta, I am impressed with your progress on all of these and that you are keeping up as well as you are. This is fantastic work. All right. Then next, in our 12th mystery, at the end of 2022, we did Piazza. So Piazza was our Italian village themed quilt. And so I don't know how we landed on Italy as our place we wanted to go with this, but Italian village themed. And so we had names like Duomo, San Marco, Palermo. I think is that Vittorio Venezia? Someone's going to correct me on this one. Signoria, Lauren, I'm impressed. Lauren keeps posting her colorways and every single time it's complete. Lauren, you are a rock star. That is fantastic work. Let's see here. So with Piazza, we had so much fun with this one because this one we had really major supply chain problems. In 2022, we would have flats that would come in without fabric on them because it got lost somewhere in the supply chain. We had a lot of people that had fabric sitting in freighters, and I would call the manufacturer. And this is when, we had a lot of stuff coming in and not a lot of stuff coming in. And I would call in the beginning and I would call Michael Miller and they'd be like, we have 6 canisters that were just dumped on our lot and we don't have anyone working to be able to unload them. And so this was definitely a sign of the times, Piazza, and making sure we could get fabric and then getting our folks here to die cut it and get it out to you. We did our Italian block swap for Piazza. And so we found an old retired quilt pattern, one that hadn't been made in a long time. It was in like historical archives. It was an Italian block. And what we did is we sent you guys a 7.5-inch square of fabric from your colorway. We asked you to pull something from your stash. You made like 4 or 5 stitches on this, and then you had a block. and you swapped it with someone else. And so this was a good way to connect. We had like 250 people participate in that swap. You guys love those squares of fabric from all of your colorways. Yes, so rare and obscure Italian villages was Piazza. All right, then we go into 2023, which was Village Green. And so we went back to our floral roots. Again, Sheila was inspired by the flowers. She had spent some time in the UK, and we went with United Kingdom flowers again. Versus gardens, we went more floral this time. So poppy, tulips, and daffodils. As you can see, this is a finished large design. Let's see here. Tisha was saying that Carnival and Tree of Life. We're about to get to Carnival and Tree of Life. Aster complete. Lauren is crushing it. All right. So for Village Green, this was the first time we did Flat Nancy. And so you guys just saw me award the Flat Nancy winner. This was something Flat Stanley was starting to become popular again because people were starting to travel at the beginning of 2023. And so we wanted to give you Flat Nancy. We wanted to see where everyone was sewing from, where people were taking their clues, where people were going on vacation. And so, yes, you can see this is, again, it's kind of a center medallion, but it's on a diagonal. Greta says she's halfway done with her Village Green. Greta, I feel like you've got all these like halfway dones. I am impressed from the very beginning too. Moonflower done, begonia waiting. Let's see here. Erin, I'm going to come back to that monthly check-in activity for Under the Sea. We're still percolating on that. Not quite ready to announce that yet, what we're going to do to replace kind of Flat Nancy in some of these challenges. All right, after Village Green, then we go to Carnival. This one feels like it just finished yesterday, guys, but this started in 2023, if you guys can believe it. And so this one was inspired by Carnival rides. And so we had names like Teacup, Candy Apple, Fortune Teller. And so you can look in the design, and this is really when kind of we started to really focus on the design for inspiration for our names. And so you can see it has kind of cars on a merry-go-round around the center of this design. Let's see here. These two Village Green are the slow sews for your parents. Yeah, I feel like I've got slow sew projects too that I just pick up every now and then. Petting Zoo complete. Lauren, love it. Diver, Lemonade. You guys, these are fun. I'm glad that you guys are keeping up on this. Sky Flyer halfway, started late, and your mom already finished her snow cone for Jana. So we did a lot of carnival stuff. We went vintage, like 1940s, 1950s carnivals for a lot of these themes, vintage tickets. It was a lot of fun. I love the carnival pattern design because it has this center element as it rotates out around. I liked the spinny rides as a kid, and I felt like Carnival captured that completely. All right, then we started 2024 with Tree of Life. And so I know a lot of you guys joined us for Tree of Life. Tree of Life we went really kind of spiritual Tree of Life with things that connect us. And this was something at that time we were really trying to seek a lot of connection. People were trying to remember how to communicate with each other, remembering how to travel, all the fun things that come with Tree of Life. And so for this one, we mailed you guys fabric and asked you to create a leaf and send it back to us. And we have this beautiful collage of leaves that have everyone's names and locations from where you participated from. We had a lot of spiritual connectivity names, Secret Garden, Woodland. This is actually Chestnut that is shown here. I do know this one. Let's see here. Melissa Feldhouse says Carnival was her deep dive into quilting. I'm glad. Carnival was a lot of fun. Gianna has finished her Purple Mist and her Olive Grove, and her mom finished her Green Meadow. Greta is 3/4 of the way done with her Tree of Life. Crystal Foster is in progress for her Purple Mist and Chestnut. Love Loathing says she did Tree of Life. It's mostly done, but it's not completely together because she was mad on the design. That's okay. Every now and then the design doesn't sing to you. That's okay. I get that as well. If you've noticed, I did a lot early. I've skipped a little just because the design doesn't necessarily sing to me. I did appreciate the interconnectivity of the inside and outside tree on this one. I do think that it would be worth completing it and possibly gifting it to someone who might appreciate and love it. Let's see here. Oh, Pastry Farms. Yes. So this is something we've been talking about a lot, is how potable all these designs are. Since it is just a single envelope with fabric in it, you can take it, you can hand sew it, you can sew it on the road, you can sew it, if you're a snowbird and you're traveling north and south, you can definitely take those with you. Let's see here. Janine Spencer has a question. I'm going to actually ask the group here. So she says it's her first time doing the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, I'm assuming Under the Sea, and she picked 2 different colorways. Will I be getting those fabrics in the picture, or is there something else I'm supposed to do? And so Janine, you picked 2 different colorways. And so those are the 6 fabrics and binding that are going to make your finished quilt top. You might not get all 6 fabrics every month. There might be some where you get just 2 or 3 of the fabrics in month 1 and 2 or 3 of the fabrics in month 2. But those fabrics in the wheel are the only ones that are going to be used to make up your finished quilt. We did have a mystery once. I forget which one it was. I'm pretty sure it was like Sparkle and Shine, maybe, where fabric E didn't materialize until month 5. Like you never use fabric E until month 5. That's just the way it works, depending on the design and how the clues are sewn together. I think you're gonna get all the fabric you need to make the quilt top and to make the binding, and there's literally nothing else you need to do except for wait for your clues to arrive and sew them as they come. Let's see here. Portable. Yes, I apologize, Pete. If I said portable, I meant to say portable, not potable like water. Let's see here. Let's see. Hope done. Linda McLaughlin. I love that. Okay. After Tree of Life, we did Wild West, which is what literally just finished about 2 months ago. And so as we looked at this quilt, I looked at it with Sheila, and I had the lens of someone who was born and raised in the Southwest, the United States Southwest. I was born in California. I was raised in Arizona. And when I saw this, my first response to Sheila was, this says Southwest to me. Like this feels like something that I would have seen growing up. In and around my home, around the reservations we grew up near. This felt very, very, very Southwest to me, with all the shapes and all the triangles against the neutral background. And so we decided to settle on a name called Wild West, and we focused on theme names that were about westward expansion. So anything that was Wild West, 1800s, westward expansion, saloon, ghost town, gold rush. This one just very recently finished, guys. It is so much fun. I see a lot of people saying, this is one I chose. I did 3 colorways. People are still in process. That's okay. There's no quilt police here. We're not going to take it away if you're not done by the time the next one starts. These are fun projects to binge. I usually, when I am sewing a mystery quilt, prefer to sew 4 and 5 quilts at a time, which is what I'm going to be doing for my Under the Sea. But I usually I kind of hang out and wait and see what's going on. Let's see here. Love Lovingly says she lost her completed clue 1. So reach out to us. So that's one of the things that we want you guys. We want you to finish it. We would love it if you finish these quilts. Did they lose me? Can they still hear me? All right. Paula's clicking lots of buttons. She's doing an incredible job over here, making sure all these photos come up for us. We want you to finish these quilts. So if you misplace something, if you drop triangles down a trash, I think Greta had her husband throw a whole clue away on accident. Just let us know. We will replace it. We have a library of fabrics that we keep for about 1.5 years, 2 years after a mystery finishes to help make sure that you guys get them done. We don't want you to feel like Love Loathingly, who's missing her clue 1 and doesn't think she can finish her quilt. That's a waste for you. That's a waste for us. We want you guys to finish it. Please reach out to us if you're missing anything on all these old designs, and we will get you caught up if we can. If we don't have it here, I think we've gotten someone asking us about So Sweet, which was 2022. That was 3 years ago, guys. We don't have that fabric still. But what we can do is we can make recommendations on fabrics that you can give you recommendations on fabrics that you can substitute with, or we can get you other fabrics we will help you find a solution. Let's see here. Beth is Wild West was her first PMQ. It's finished and she's giving it to her son for his birthday. That's fantastic. Oh, Greta said the clue that was thrown away was the gnomes. That happens. My husband's thrown away some of my stuff too. Not super fantastic. All right. Tay Ray says that she finished Tree of Life and Serenity. It's done and gifted. Yeah, Pastry Farm. That's okay. I get the autocorrect. You're totally fine. T. Ree says she did Village Green and Sweet William, and Calamity is done for Linda McLaughlin. All right, then we get to the PMQ that's in flight. So guess what? We don't have any pictures for this one. We're not going to show you what Fly Away looks like. But Fly Away, when we looked at this design, it had elements of flying birds in it. And so we chose Fly Away, not Fly Away, but Fly Away. And we chose different types of birds. So we did Freebird, Raven, Nightingale, bird-inspired designs, because when we saw it, that's really kind of the vibe it gave off. And when you guys see the design, I hope you can see the connectivity between the theme and the final design. I see lots of people have put in that they're working on Fly Away. You guys, this is fantastic. I am so moved and loved that you guys are doing all this work. And we have the one that's currently signing up, Under the Sea. So this one, again, when we looked at the design and we saw elements in it that popped in colorways, certain elements that popped in other colorways. We really liked Under the Sea as the design for it. And we chose to come up with Under the Sea, kind of mystical, a little bit kind of more, I guess, mythology might be the way to go with it. We could have easily done coral or animals or, sea creatures. We could have done those. We chose to go a little differently for Under the Sea. That is currently signing up. You guys are definitely going to want to sign up for this one. I know that in this kind of snapshot show, we've shown you one of the quilts from each of these designs over the past 16 that we have completed and 2 that are in process. And I'm going to encourage you to go back through, watch the reveals, and see if there's a design that you like, because the colors and the fabrics make different elements pop. And so that Tree of Life was a fantastic example of, for some of the colorways, the inner tree popped, and some of the colorways, the outer tree popped. And so I'm going to tell you that Under the Sea, there are definitely colorways that have different impact on the final design. And when we line up all 13 of those finished quilts for Under the Sea, they're going to look like they're 13 different finished designs, just because of the way the fabric choice is and the way it plays. So do not feel sad if you're like, I really like these colors and I really like these colors, but I don't want to have 2 of the same quilts in my house. I have 2 of the same quilts in my house and nobody knows that but me, because they finished so very differently in the final design, in the final rotation, the final iteration. Okay, Paula, did I get everything? Did I get it all? Okay, that is all 18 different colorways. Let's see here. So thank you for hanging with me till the end. All you have to do is find this video for our giveaway on YouTube or on Facebook, and you're going to answer this question. We will pick one lucky person to win our $25 gift card to our shop. So the question is, let's see here. You guys have been kind of answering it as we've been going along. So let me see here. Okay, so make sure that when you answer this question, you put all time in your comments. So we know it's different than all the comments that are coming through. You guys are like super active and I am loving all of this. So when you answer this, be sure to put all time. So what is your all-time favorite PMQ name or theme? So of all 18, what's your all-time favorite? And if you've never participated, which one of the ones you saw today did you love the best? So when you guys put that comment, we're going to get the timestamp in so we can figure out the differences between all the comments that have been submitted today. Go ahead and put that in. We'll pick one lucky person to get a $25 gift card to our shop. A quick reminder, we are off next week because I am on vacation with the family. But the week after, we're going to talk about Mystery 5.0. I will have fabrics. I will actually be able to show you guys a Mystery 5.0 kit because they should be done at that point in time. And I can show you guys what is going to be coming to you. All right. That is it for me today, gang. Everyone have an absolute fantastic weekend and a great week sewing next week. And I will see you soon. Have a great day and bye now. And cut. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have so much fun making these, and we hope that you were both delighted and inspired by what you just watched. This video was sponsored by Cotton Cuts. Cotton Cuts is your one stop for all the best fabric and thread memberships. Love fabric? We've got you covered. Love thread? We've got you covered. We get that no 2 quilters are cut from the same cloth, which is why our memberships are as unique as you. We also have the largest block of the month in the world. Over 4,000 detectives solve our puzzle mystery quilts every year, and you can join them. Simply go to cottoncuts.com to learn more about all the awesome and fun things that we're doing. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to make sure you get all of our new fresh content every time it comes out. Thank you so much. Happy sewing enthusiasts, and we will see you soon. Bye now.